What's up everyone, GibberShakeJust here today. Today we're going to be going over all 32 currently released cards of the new expansion, Ashes of Outland. If you don't know, Ashes of Outland, or just Outland, is one of my favorite places in the entire Warcraft universe. So I'm really excited about this expansion. I can't believe this is actually happening, so it's going to be really fun. We're going to go over all 32 cards like I said before, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go all over all of them, but in the future, my videos are going to be more on like 5 to 6 cards as they're released. We're just knocking them all the way right now because we had a lot revealed. So let's get into it. Camera's over the right edge today because of the cards, so we're going to do it this way so it doesn't take me 4 hours to edit. So, Skull of Gul'dan. We've already talked about this card before, but it's really good. 5-cost spell that draws 3 cards and reduces their cost by 3 if it's the left or rightmost card in your hand. Wow, that was a lot to say, but it's going to be pretty good, I think. I think Outcast is going to be an interesting mechanic. I think some cards it's going to work very well, and in some cards it's not going to work well. I think this card is going to work pretty well with it, especially if you draw it after turn 5, once you're able to play it right away. So if you ever are needing to get into a fast pace, you know, this is what you're going to, if you're in a slower pace deck, this is going to be what you want. War goes with Vows Enough, another Demon Hunter card. Like I said before, this card is very similar to the one in Warrior, but it's better even though it costs a little more because of your hero power and the Demon Hunter class. Demon Hunters are just going to be able to utilize this weapon better than Warriors could. Metamorphosis is a really cool card. 5-cost spell that turns your hero power into a 1-cost hero power that deals 5 damage. And then you have 2 uses of it. So that's pretty strong. If you're ahead in the game, I would definitely recommend this. But the cool thing is that you can kind of fit this into late or early game. I think of it more as an early game deck, but it does have a lot of potential for both. Now we're into the new cards. Kael'thas Bladefist. He's a 4-cost 4/4 with Rush. Death Rattle, shuffle Kael'thas Prime into your deck. Now what is Kael'thas Prime? He's this hunkin' piece of thing. 8-cost 10/10. That's crazy stats. He has Rush, and whenever this attacks and kills a minion, gain 10 armor. So this is ridiculous. And I think something that's very important to realize is that he has Rush. Both versions have Rush. If either one just was literally stats, it would not be nearly as good because you wouldn't be able to get the attack or effect out. But what makes this card so good is that we have the Death Rattle and the Rush, so he can die right away if we want. Very similar to Darius Crowley. And then here, 10 attack is a lot, and whenever this kills me, it gains 10 armor. So you're going to get at least 10 armor. It's a very strong card, and I am a big fan of this prime kind of mechanic. So, going to be very cool. I'm excited. Lady Vashj is another prime example. Haha. 3-cost 4/3 spell damage +1 Death Rattle. Shuffle Vashj Prime into your deck. I love Vashj. She's one of my favorite cards. One of my favorite characters in Warcraft 3 and its Frozen Throne expansion. So, very excited about that. So Vashj is Prime is a 7-cost 5/4 spell damage +1. Battlecry draws 3 spells, reduce their cost to 3. Now, I think this is kind of cool because it shows that not all primes are going to be like the same. They're not all going to be like 10 costs or 8 cost 10/10s. They're all going to have their own little unique thing to them. So having Vashj like this is really interesting. She's a lot, I don't want to say weaker. She has a lot of different purpose for her. And it looks like they're going to go a different way with Shaman. So we're not going to have cards like Hagatha's Scheme. We will have cards like Earthquake in the game, so this will still be useful with spell damage. I think it's the battle cry that's really going to get you in this. The hardest part for me is that, you know, she has a Death Rattle, and she doesn't have Rush or anything, so it's hard to achieve that. But on the bright side, you have the spell damage for a 3-cost minion is pretty good, and the stats are decent. So you have a lot of potential for this one. Maybe not as obvious as good, but it's still very good. All right. 3-cost 4/5 Demon. Pretty good stats. I mean, that's mediocre. Imprisoned Observer. Rare for Mage. It's dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. Now this is pretty cool because dormant is one of like the new kind of mechanics that are trying. We've had it before, but it's basically it's never been this official. So when it awakens, it has like an effect, and I think this is really cool, very interesting kind of thing we got going on here. So big fan of this card. It's a very good way of keeping aggro decks at bay. Demon Hunter's trying to rush you. Token Druid's trying to get at you. Token Shaman's trying to take you out. This is a very good card to say, alright, you're going to have to back off for a little while, alright? You got to either do what you're doing very quickly or, But it does have a problem where if you play this too late, it could be too little too late. So keep that in mind. The thing about dormant cards, before I go back, I want to say is that dormant cards are good, but the problem is you're spending mana for an investment. So you got to be careful when you're playing this. If you play this on turn 3, it's like you skipped your turn in a way, because you're not doing anything. So do keep that in mind, that playing dormant cards is a risk. The Dark Portal is a 4-cost Warlock spell. Go Warlock. I'm excited to see how Warlock's going to play in this. Draw a minion. If you have at least 8 cards in hand, it costs 5 less. So this is very interesting. It's much more of a late game card than anything else, and I think it more of a big Warlock deck. Has a lot of potential. My only thing with it is that it's so specific that it probably won't happen. But we do have cards that now extend your hand size and help you draw more cards. So very, very easy to achieve, I think. Imprisoned Satyr is a 3-cost 3/3. I'm glad they're including Satyrs, because Satyrs are a big part in Warcraft history, and I'm glad to see them. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, reduce the cost of a random minion in your hand by 5. So this could be a great way into keeping to setting up your Malygos combo, which is something I really want to see this work with. So I think this could be really cool in trying to do like a Malygos kind of combo and all that. Alright, new legendary, and it's a prime. 3-cost 3/4 with Taunt, Arcspore, Massfin. Taunt. Death Rattle, shuffle Massfin Prime into your deck. It's a 10-cost 9/9 Taunt. Choose one, summon a 9/9 Fungal Giant with Taunt or Rush. So this one is a lot more flexible, and it's very interesting. I feel like the Lady Vosh is a lot different than these, because this is much more compared to the Warrior one. And in a way, it is better in its own regard. It's got Taunt rather than the Rush, and it allows you to do the choose one with a lot more flexibility. So very interesting. And with your hero power in Quest Druid, this could be a cool card to have in there. Bulwark of Azzinoth. So we got our 2 legendaries for Warrior. 3-cost 1/4 weapon. Whenever your hero would take damage, this loses 1 durability instead. Now this is kind of interesting, because if you're going against an aggro deck, this card sucks, to be honest, because 1 damage, this card, you're spending turn, you're trying to hold off. But this is really good if you're going against someone with a huge board and you need to stall. So I think it's so specific, it's kind of hard to say. But with the current meta, it's going to change so much with Demon Hunter. It's hard to say where this could go. So I'm not going to rule out quite yet, but I'm not high expectations. New legendary for neutral. 3-cost 3/4. Teron Gorfin. Battlecry, destroy all friendly minions. Death Rattle, resummon them with 1/1. So this is pretty cool if you got a Death Rattle effect going on, or if you are just playing an aggro deck. This could have potential. Going with Murlocs, alright? Let's say you do the Spirit, the Spirit Murloc card. It gives all your minions summon a 1/1 Murloc. So you could do something like Death Rattle, destroy all your Murlocs after you attack with them, have them come back as that, and then once those Murlocs die, resummon your Murlocs again. Something like that, I could see that. It's a very interesting card. It's a very risky card, but if we get a lot more Death Rattle effects, it could be very powerful. Pet Commander is a 9-cost 7/9 demon epic. At the end of your turn, summon a demon from your deck. So this has a lot of cool effects with it. If we see more big demons in this expansion, this has a lot more possibilities. The problem is we haven't seen many big demons in this deck, only like 2. So until then, this card isn't that good. Oh. Where are you? Boom. Furious Falcon, we've already talked about this one. It's a really good card for Demon Hunter, and I'm excited to see it work. And same with Spectral Sight. Outcast is probably going to be a good mechanic, and this card is just going to be a really good card if you get it on turn 2. So very, very interesting. Kael'thas Sunstrider. Now you guys know I've been wanting Kael'thas Sunstrider into expansion forever, and we finally got him. Woo! I'm excited. Alright, and he's a pretty good card, and he's available now, so yeah. Woohoo. Yeah. So, Kael'thas Sunstrider is a 6 cost for 7. Every third spell you cast costs, each turn costs 0. And at first, I was a little sad that they didn't introduce his Phoenix, but oh boy, they did. We'll get to that. He's a separate card. So, this card is pretty good. It has a lot of potential in the fact that you're able to do a lot more interesting combos with it. We've seen a lot of cards like this where it's like, get an effect if you do your third spell. But this one's better because your third spell is the effect. It's free. And that's what makes this card really interesting, because now you don't have to... Like with the Priest, we have the Soul Stone, alright, for Priests and Kobolds and Catacombs. You gotta cast 3 spells to get a 5/5 dragon. That's really hard to achieve, because you can't put that many cheap spells in your deck and to achieve that. This is much easier because you just need fewer cheap spells and big spells to even it out. Love this card. Fungal Fortunes, 2 cost Druid spell. Rare, draw 3 cards, discard any minions drawn. So this is pretty interesting. We've never seen a discard mechanic for Druid except for with the 4 cost spell. So this is really cool. It has a lot of... We've never seen this type of deck for Druid before. This is a very spell-driven Druid deck, and it's very interesting. So maybe if you want like a quest Druid with only spells, it's really weird, to be honest. So I'm not sure. We're going to see more cards to support this for this card to be really good, but it's crazy for just the 3 cards for 2 mana. That's a crazy effect. Scavenger's Ingenuity, 2 cost spell for Hunter. It's a common. It says draw a beast, give it 3/3. That's just pretty good. If you're playing a very aggressive deck, this is a card you want to play. It helps you get that fast pace going on. If you draw a beast on and are able to play on turn 3 with this, it's gonna help you push that momentum. Like just getting bored with this, the 1/1 board with charge. Playing this on turn 3, hero power and board, that's 6 damage with a 4/4 on the board. That's pretty good. Very interesting card. Ambush, Rogue Secret. Rogue Secrets are back, y'all. 2 cost secret, rare. After your opponent plays a minion, summon a 2/3 ambusher with poisonous. So it's not, it doesn't. So this is like the Hunter one with the 2/3 snake that we saw, I believe, in Frozen, in the Frozen Death Knight expansion. So this is pretty cool. You get a lot of interesting mechanics to go with it. But this one's a little better, I think. I mean, a little worse, I think, because when the minion is played, it does this. Not when it's attacked. So, because of that, they're able to react to it faster and better. Maybe they were going to attack this minion, but since that came, they attacked this one instead. Whereas the other one, you didn't really get the chance. So I think the Hunter one is a better version, but it's not a bad card. Torrent is a 5 cost Shaman spell. It looks like Shaman's going to get all the Naga, and I'm excited about that. Deal 8 damage to a minion, cost 3 less if you cast a spell last turn. So, that's pretty cool. Deal 8 damage for 2 mana. That's pretty strong. So the thing is, guys, we're getting a lot of cards that are supporting big minions. We got the Pig Commander, big demons. You're going to see some other demons, you know, that help support this. And it's very interesting. But the problem is, we haven't seen these big cards yet. But we're seeing a lot of cards that do board control for big cards and all that. So, I'm not going to rule this card out, because I think it's very, very cool. And it's very easy to achieve. Casting a spell last turn is very easy. But we need to see these big minions that we're preparing for. And so that's why I'm excited to see. Morag Artificer? I'm not sure how to say that. 2 cost 2/4 demon. Epic. All minions take double damage from spells. All minions take double damage from spells. Okay. So this has a lot of... We've never really seen anything like this before. It's important to know that it only says minions take double damage from spells. But this is a really cool way of taking your board control to the next level. The problem is with this card is that... So these cards that are tailored to destroy your enemy, they're reliant on your enemy playing big minions or something like that. And this is a little harder. These cards aren't played as much because they're reliant on what your opponent is playing. And most people play decks where that isn't the case. There are a lot of cool cards, and we got some of these in Descent of Dragons where they're like, kill a specific dragon. Right, kill a dragon. But those cards aren't typically played because it relies on the fact that your opponent needs to play a dragon. So, in this case, I can see that. But this one is a little better in some cases because it goes on all classes of minions. And on the bright side, you also get this cool effect where it's really good against aggro decks. Because now your spell that did 1 damage to all minions, it does 2 to all minions. And this is where that could come into handy. So very interesting card. Never seen anything like it. Blackjack Stunner. 1 cost 1/2 rare for Rogue. Battlecry, if you control a secret, return a minion to its owner's hand. It costs 2 more. Secret Rogue is coming back, y'all. We haven't seen it since Kobolds and Catacombs, but I'm glad we're seeing it. Shake up for the class. So, return a minion to its owner's hand. It costs 2 more. That's pretty cool. It has a lot of potential that you can use. You can also use it on your own minions if you just wanted to play them again. But what's cool is that this minion is so cheap, and you could just play this on turn 1 if you wanted. But it's more of a turn 3 play. Shadow Council. Oh, that's such a cool callback, guys. So the Shadow Council, if you don't know, is from before Gul'dan and his orcs came over to Azeroth, he had a Shadow Council that was like manipulating the Horde. Seeing this on a card, dude. Wow, that's so cool. Shadow Council is a 1-cost epic spell for Warlock. Replace your hand with random demons. Give them 2/2. What the heck? This is so cool. This is going to be a deck that people are just going to revolve around this card. This is such a cool idea for a card. I am all for it. Love this card. 5 out of 5. No, it's actually not that good. But I can't wait to try it. Bog Spine Knuckles is a 5-cost 4/2 epic. After your hero attacks, transform your minions into random ones that cost 1 or more. So, basically, as your hero attacks, evolve your minions, basically. Is that good? Yeah, that's actually pretty good. The problem is it's pretty expensive. Having that much, paying that much for a weapon this cheap isn't that good. But Shaman has been known to been able, especially with Battlecry Shaman, you're able to do stuff a lot. You're able to control the board so much that you could probably afford to take the payment and to do this. The problem is that since it's so expensive, you're taking the payment and a risk of getting bad minions. So is that worth it? I would say typically not. Bogstrock Clacker, 3-cost 3/3 rare. Battlecry, transform adjacent minions into random ones that cost 1 or more. Battlecry, hold on. Evolve Shaman's coming back, y'all. Evolve Shaman was one of my favorite decks ever, so I would love to see this come back. Alright. Imprison Antane. Please let me know if I'm saying that right. As I said before, this card looks pretty damn cool. I'm not sure if you were to get this from Pick Commander, if it would be dormant when it arrives. Since it's not a battle cry, I would assume it would be. I've assumed that if you brought this, it would be dormant. But we won't, I don't think we'll know until the expansion. But this card is pretty cool. It has a lot of cool potential, and I would love to see more of them. Dragon Maw Overseer, 3-cost 2/2, rare for Priest. We're seeing a different type of Priest emerge from this expansion and so forth. At the end of your turn, give another friendly minion 2/2. This is a very hyper-aggressive card that can help you in future decks. So, I'm very excited to see it. Alright. Underlight Angling Rod. After Epic, 3-cost 3/2, after your hero attacks, add a random Murloc to your hand. But what's this? It's for Paladin. Is Paladin coming back? I would love to see Paladin come back from Murlocs. I think it's like really funny. So yeah, this card is pretty cool actually. With cards like what was that? Everything. It's the 8-cost Murloc spell. That card we've seen Murlocs kind of bring up with Finley too. So this is definitely just a card that supports us a lot, and I think it's a good card. Alar, woohoo! I love this guy. So Alar was in Warcraft 3. When you play Kael'thas, you could summon Alar, and that was such a cool thing. So Alar is a 5-cost 7/3 elemental. It's neutral. That will summon a 0/3 Alar that resurrects this minion on your next turn. So if you don't basically kill this 0/3 after you kill this guy, it'll bring him back. The problem is that he has such little health, and this is such a little health too. I feel like this minion needs to be cheaper for this to be good, or have more health. So because of that, I don't know if this card is going to be really great, but still, I think it's pretty cool. I'm just happy he got a card. Marsh Hydra, huge beast for Druid. 7-cost 7/7 rush. After this attacks, add a random 8-cost minion to your hand. Wow. So this is pretty cool. I love big beast Druid, and we're seeing, I think it could actually have some potential and some of the things with some of the beast cards we've seen for Druid in the future. So I'm excited for this card. A lot of potential. Shadow Jeweler Hanar. 2-cost 1/2 legendary. After you play a secret, discover a secret from a different class. So this is pretty cool. Getting secrets from different class is really neat. I don't think it does, but I think it'd be cool if this also went into wild secrets. That'd be pretty neat too. But I really like this card. Interesting. It's good to see that secrets are coming back to Rogue in a major way if they have a legendary devoted to it. 2-cost 3/3 Demon for a Warlock. Imprisoned Scrap Imp. Dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, give all minions in your hand 2/2. So this is pretty cool. It's kind of interesting to see, and I think it'll do a great job. And it's just a 2-cost 3/3. So when it comes out, at least you're getting good stats for the cost. Final one is 2-cost 3/2 Mage. Spell damage +1 death roll. Shuffle Solarian Prime into your deck. What is Solarian Prime? Well, he is a freaking 7-cost 7/7 demon. That's pretty cool. Demon for Mage. I think that's the first. Solarian Prime. Spell damage +1. Battlecry casts 5 random mage spells. Targets enemies if possible. Wow. So this casts spells, but if it can, it will target towards the enemy. How cool is that? I think that's a really neat little thing that that does. Plus, this is very similar to this is just like a better version of a Blood Mage Thalnos. Blood Mage Thalnos is a 2-cost 1/1 that has spell damage 1 and shuffles a card into your deck. That card is already played a lot, so this card is more than available to do the same thing plus a better version. Big fan of that. So there you go, guys. That is all the cards currently in the Ashes of Outland expansion. We should be getting more cards throughout the day. We still got these that will come tomorrow, so I will do these when they come out. But thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!